October 1st, 1993, Petaluma, California. A man with a knife walks into a 12-year-old girl's bedroom during a slumber party. Two other girls watch, frozen. He's calm, methodical. He ties them up with cloth strips, tells them to count to 1,000, and vanishes with polycloths into the night. Within hours, a community will mobilize. Within weeks, a nation will grieve. Within months, America's entire justice system will change forever. But here's what keeps me awake. This nightmare didn't have to happen. The monster who took Polly had already been in custody twice that very night. The system had him, and they let him go. Twice. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most heartbreaking cases in American history. We'll unravel how a career criminal slipped through every crack, how a town fought impossible odds to find one girl, and how Polly's father transformed grief into a crusade that rewrote the law. You'll see the investigation's most painful mistakes, the evidence that almost disappeared, and the courtroom moment that left even hardened prosecutors speechless. Because this isn't just about what happened to Polly Klaas. It's about what happens when we trust the system to protect us, and it fails. Let's go back to the beginning. Petaluma, 1993. Picture this. A small town north of San Francisco, population 50,000, where neighbors know each other's names, tree-lined streets, farmers markets on weekends, the kind of place where parents let their kids ride bikes until dark without a second thought. Polly Klaas is 12 years old, brown hair, bright smile, a girl who loves acting in school, plays and spending time with her friends. Her teachers describe her as curious, kind, someone who lights up a room. She lives with her mother, Eve Nickel, and her younger sister in a modest home on 4th Street. Her parents are divorced, but her father, Mark Klaas, stays deeply involved. They're a normal family, safe, or so they believe. October 1st is a Friday night. Polly's excited because two of her best friends, Kate and Jillian, are sleeping over. They're in her bedroom, a cozy space decorated with posters and childhood treasures. They're playing board games, giggling, doing typical 12-year-old things. Eve and Polly's younger sister are asleep in other rooms. The house is quiet, peaceful. It's 9:30 p.m., and then the door opens. A man stands there. He's holding a knife, not waving it around, not yelling, just holding it, calmly, like he's done this before. He looks at the three girls and speaks in a low, steady voice. He tells them, this is a robbery. He's here for money. He needs them to cooperate. The girls are paralyzed. Kate later says, it felt like her body stopped working, like her brain couldn't process what was happening. He produces cloth strips, pre-cut, prepared, and methodically ties their hands behind their backs. He gags them with bandanas. He covers their heads with pillowcases. Professional, efficient, terrifying. Then he pulls Polly aside. Kate and Jillian hear him say, don't scream, or I'll slit your throats. He tells the girls to count to 1,000, slowly. If they stop, he'll know. And then, footsteps. Polly's voice, faint, saying, don't do this. A door closing. Silence. Kate and Jillian lie there, shaking, counting. They have no idea if he's still in the house, if he's coming back, if Polly is even alive. After what feels like an eternity, they wriggle free. They run to Eve's room. Eve wakes up confused, groggy, and then her world shatters. Polly is gone. Her daughter has been taken from her own bedroom. At 9:40 p.m., Eve calls 911 and the nightmare officially begins. But here's the thing that gnaws at you when you study this case. While Kate and Jillian were counting, while Eve was waking up to horror, the man who took Polly had already been stopped by police twice that same night, and they had no idea what they'd just let slip away. Let me introduce you to Richard Allen Davis, born June 2nd, 1954, in San Francisco. By 1993, he's 39 years old and has spent more than half his life behind bars. His rap sheet reads like a catalog of escalating violence: burglary, assault, kidnapping. Yes, kidnapping, plural. In 1973, at 19 years old, he abducts a woman at knife point, beats her, and attempts to sexually assault her. He serves time, gets out, does it again in 1976. Another woman, another knife, another attack, back to prison. Each time, the system releases him. Each time, he reoffends. Parole boards note his potential for violence. Psychologists warn he's dangerous, and yet he keeps getting out. By October 1993, Davis is technically on parole, living in Ukiah, about 60 miles north of Petaluma. But he's violated parole repeatedly, skipping meetings, disappearing for days. Nobody's tracking him closely. To the few people who cross his path, he's a drifter, a drunk, someone to avoid. To law enforcement, he's a file in a cabinet. But here's what they don't see. Davis is planning, prowling. He's been driving around Petaluma for weeks, maybe months, looking, watching. On October 1st, he picks 4th Street. He picks Polly's house. We don't know why. Random chance, a light in the window. Davis will never give a straight answer, but he chooses that house that night, and he walks in through an unlocked door. Think about that for a second. An unlocked door in a safe neighborhood. How many of us have forgotten to lock a door, left a window cracked on a warm night? It's the kind of mistake that usually means nothing, but this time, it means everything. Now, here's where the case takes its most agonizing turn. After Davis kidnaps Polly, he puts her in his beat-up Ford Pinto and drives north on Highway 101. It's around 10 p.m. He's heading toward the hills, away from town, but his car, old, unreliable, gets stuck on a rural property off Pythian Road, just a few miles outside Petaluma. The tires spin in soft dirt. He's trapped, and then, headlights. A resident named Dana Jaffe lives nearby and notices the car. She's suspicious. A stranger's vehicle on private property. Late at night, she calls the police. 2 deputies, Mike Rankin and another officer, arrive within minutes. They find Davis standing by the Pinto. He seems drunk, disheveled. He tells them he's lost, that he was looking for a place to camp and took a wrong turn. The deputies check his license, Richard Allen Davis. They run it. No outstanding warrants pop up, even though he's violated parole. The system doesn't flag him. They ask if anyone else is in the car. Davis says no, he's alone. They shine flashlights around. They don't search the car. They don't look in the trunk. They don't check the backseat thoroughly. It's dark, remote. They help push his car free and send him on his way. Davis drives off with Polly. Later, much later, investigators will confirm Polly was in that car, alive, terrified, probably bound and hidden. If the deputies had searched the vehicle, they would have found her right there. Case over, but they don't. And Davis disappears into the night. Within an hour, those same deputies are called to another incident. a trespassing complaint near the same area. Guess who they find? Davis again. He's wandering on someone else's property. Same story. Drunk, lost, confused. They tell him to leave. Again, no search, no arrest, just a warning, and off he goes. 2 encounters, 2 chances, both missed. By the time Eve Nichols' 911 call reaches dispatchers, Davis is long gone, and Polly, she's running out of time. The response to Polly's abduction is immediate and massive. Petaluma police arrive at the house within minutes. FBI agents are called in by morning. Mark Klaas, Polly's father, rushes from his home and becomes the public face of the search, giving interviews, organizing volunteers, pleading for his daughter's return. Within days, the case becomes national news. Polly's face is everywhere. Flyers, TV screens, billboards, celebrities join the cause. Winona Ryder, who grew up in Petaluma, offers a $200,000 reward. The community mobilizes like nothing anyone's ever seen. Thousands of volunteers comb fields, forests, neighborhoods. They search abandoned buildings, drainage ditches, parks. They knock on doors, hand out flyers, distribute posters. It's the largest civilian search effort in American history. At that point, everyone believes they'll find her. They have to. But here's the cruel reality. As volunteers search, Polly is already gone. The investigation later reveals Davis killed her that very night, likely within hours of the abduction. We don't know exactly when or precisely how. Davis's own statements are contradictory, self-serving, designed to inflict maximum pain. What we do know is this. He drove her to a remote area near Cloverdale, about 30 miles north, and there, in the darkness, he ended her life. He buried her body in a shallow grave off Highway 128, covering it with plywood and debris. Then he went back to his life, drinking, drifting, watching the news coverage like everyone else. For 65 days, the search continues. The FBI brings in profilers. They chase hundreds of leads. They interview suspects, track down tips, follow false sightings across the country. Mark Klaas becomes a fixture on television, his face etched with desperation and exhaustion. The nation holds its breath, but there's no breakthrough, no ransom call, no witnesses who saw the right thing. It's like Polly vanished into thin air. And then, late November, a break. Remember those 2 encounters with deputies on October 1st? Detectives have been combing through every piece of evidence, every detail from that night. They pull reports from surrounding areas. One investigator notices something. 2 calls near Pythian Road. Same night, same time frame, same suspect, Richard Allen Davis. They look closer. Davis is a parolee with a violent history. He was in the area. His car was stuck. They bring in Dana Jaffe, the woman who called in the first report. She remembers something. She saw a palm print on the Pinto. Detectives go back to the scene. They find the print on a wood fence near where the car was stuck. They lift it. They run it. It matches Davis. Now they have a suspect. But where is he? Davis, it turns out, has been arrested again. This time in Mendocino County for drunk driving, a parole violation. He's in custody, sitting in a cell, probably thinking he's untouchable. On November 30th, investigators bring him in for questioning about Polly. At first, he denies everything. Classic tactics. Play dumb, act confused, delay. But the evidence is stacking up. The palm print, his presence near Polly's house, the night of the abduction, witnesses who saw his car, fibers found at the scene. The interrogators press. They tell him they know. They lay it out piece by piece. And finally, Davis cracks. Not out of guilt, not out of remorse, but because he realizes the game is over. He agrees to lead them to Polly's body. December 4th, 1993. Davis takes investigators to a hillside off Highway 128. He points to a spot. They dig, and there she is, Polly Klaas, still wearing the same clothes from the slumber party. Her body is in advanced decomposition, but it's her. The FBI confirms it through dental records. Mark Klaas gets the call. The search is over. The worst nightmare imaginable is now reality. The nation mourns. But Mark transforms his grief into fury, into purpose. He asks himself, how did this happen? How does a man like Davis, a repeat violent offender, a parolee with every red flag imaginable, end up free to destroy lives? And the answer is as infuriating as it is simple. The system let him go. Again, and again, and again. Mark Klaas becomes an activist. He testifies before Congress. He appears on every major news show. He demands change, and he gets it. In 1994, California passes the 3 strikes law, one of the toughest sentencing reforms in U.S. history. The idea is simple. 3 serious or violent felonies, and you're locked up for life. No parole, no exceptions. It's directly inspired by Polly's case. Other states follow. The law is controversial. Critics say it fills prisons, that it's too harsh, that it doesn't distinguish between crimes. But Mark doesn't care. He wants predators like Davis off the streets, forever. And Polly's law, as it's often called, does exactly that. But here's the question that still haunts this case. Would 3 strikes have saved Polly? Davis already had 2 strikes, 2 kidnappings, 2 violent assaults. If the law had existed in 1993, he wouldn't have been out. He'd have been in prison. Polly would be alive. That's not speculation. That's fact. And that's why Mark fights, because his daughter's death was preventable. Davis's trial begins in 1996. It's a media circus. The evidence is overwhelming. The palm print, fibers, his confession, the location of the body. His defense tries to argue diminished capacity, drug use, alcohol, childhood trauma. None of it sticks. The jury finds him guilty on all counts. First-degree murder, kidnapping, attempted lewd acts on a child. The penalty phase is next. Will he get life in prison or death? This is where Davis shows his true nature. During the penalty phase, he's allowed to make a statement. He stands up, and instead of showing remorse, instead of apologizing, he looks at Mark Klaas and says, verbatim, "The main reason I know I did not attempt any lewd act that night was because of a statement the young girl made to me while walking up the embankment. Just don't do me like my dad." He claims Polly accused her father of molestation. It's a lie, a calculated, vicious lie, designed to inflict maximum pain. Mark lunges toward him, shouting. Courtroom erupts. Guards restrain Mark. The judge orders Davis removed. It's one of the most shocking moments in courtroom history. The jury deliberates. They come back unanimous. Death. Richard Allen Davis is sentenced to death row at San Quentin. As of today, he's still there, still alive, still filing appeals. Polly has been gone for over 30 years. Davis eats, sleeps, watches TV, and lives while she never got the chance to grow up. Is that justice? You tell me. But let's talk about the lingering questions, because this case, as resolved as it seems, has shadows. First, the 2 encounters with deputies. Could they have saved Polly? Absolutely. Should they have searched his car? Legally, they probably couldn't, without cause. But morally, Instinctively, shouldn't something have felt off? A drunk parolee, alone on private property, late at night, acting evasive. It's the kind of what if that torments everyone involved. Deputy Rankin later says it's the biggest regret of his career, but regret doesn't bring Polly back. Second, Davis's motive. Why Polly? Why that house? He never gives a real answer. He's claimed everything from it was random to I was high and don't remember. Behavioral analysts believe he's a sadistic predator who enjoys control, who planned the abduction but won't admit it because that gives investigators satisfaction. In his mind, withholding the truth is the last bit of power he has. So we're left guessing, was he stalking, watching, or did he just try doors until one opened? We'll probably never know. Third, the system. How many failures does it take before we fix something? Davis was flagged as dangerous in the 70s. Psychologists warned he'd reoffend. Parole boards noted his violence, and yet he was released. Repeatedly, the bureaucracy, the lack of communication between agencies, the overworked parole officers, none of it is an excuse. Polly paid the price for those failures, and she's not alone. How many other victims are out there? Because someone slipped through the cracks. But here's what doesn't haunt me. It inspires me. Mark Klaas. He took the worst thing that can happen to a parent and turned it into a force for change. He didn't just grieve. He fought. He made sure Polly's name meant something. Today, 3 strikes laws have kept thousands of repeat offenders behind bars. Are the laws perfect? No. Do they prevent every tragedy? Of course not. But they've saved lives, and that's Polly's legacy. In the end, the Polly Klaas case is a reminder of 3 things. 1. Evil doesn't always look like a monster. Richard Allen Davis was a nobody, a drifter, someone people walked past without a second glance, but he had the capacity to destroy. 2. The system is only as strong as its weakest link. 2 missed chances, 2 encounters that could have changed everything, but they didn't, and a 12-year-old girl paid the price. 3. Love is stronger than hate. Mark Klaas could have crumbled. He could have disappeared into grief. Instead, he built something that honors his daughter. That's not closure. He'll never have that, but it's purpose, and sometimes purpose is all we have. Polly Klaas should be 44 years old today. She should have graduated high school, gone to college, maybe become an actress like she dreamed. She should have lived, but she didn't get that chance because on October 1st, 1993, a man with a knife walked into her bedroom and the world lost a light it will never get back. If this case left you shaken, you're not alone. The Polly Klaas abduction is one of those stories that stays with you, that makes you check your locks twice, that reminds you how fragile safety really is. But don't let it end here. Subscribe to this channel because we're diving into more cases that changed America. Cases where justice was won, lost, and fought for tooth and nail. Next up, the case that exposed a serial killer hiding in the Mormon church, and how one detective's obsession cracked it wide open. Hit that notification bell. Let's keep searching for the truth together, because some stories need to be told, and some names need to be remembered. Polly Klaas is one of them.